Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Jules Suds and Soap. Today what I'm going to do, this is my mini tall and skinny, but it's a mini one. What I did was the previous video I had made some bars, Georgia Peaches, and I wanted to make some other bars, and I just put them in this mold here, and I made 6 bars, different colors, did a drop swirl. And for today, what we're going to do is we're going to reuse these. I'm going to show you how to reuse all these, or if you have scraps or anything. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start melting down my melt and pour for 30-second bursts. After 30 seconds, take it out, stir it, and if it needs to go back in, then put it back in. If not, then, if it's totally, completely melted where you want it, then it's good. So I'm going to melt that down, and I'll be right back. Okay, while that's melting, I think I'm going to cut them a little smaller. I just think they're too clunky and big, so, and they don't have to be, they're all going to be different sizes. Okay. Now I'm going to attempt to stir out any of the clumps that I have. You want to stir out as much as you can manually because it's very easy to overheat. Now my manufacturer says do not make it melt past 160. How about mica? Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to add, I already prepped my mold. I'm putting my fragrance oil in. This one's orange I'm adding. I'm really going to mix that real good. Don't worry about the alcohol, that will evaporate. So I'm going to pour my first layer. I would say, maybe 1/8 of an inch high. You do not want a lot. Just enough, though, so that these actually get incorporated into the soap. You don't want air pockets or anything, and I find that you get less air pockets if you pour just a very thin layer prior to whatever you're doing. Boy, that orange smells good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is spray this because, again, not only does the alcohol help with the bubbles, but it also helps different soap layers adhere to one another. And that's going to be done soon, but I'm going to, like I said, make some of these smaller. Now, the way that you can tell if this is done is if you blow on it and there's ripples, then it needs to set longer. If you don't get any ripples when you blow on it, then it's completely dried, or set. Yeah, it still has a little bit of time. So like I said, I'm going to continue cutting these. I'm actually going to make just different shapes and sizes. Do a couple on the side like that. Now, I want there to be a slight skin before I put these in there. I don't want this to seep through this level. So I'm going to try and place one. Nope. This still needs to set a little bit. I would say I'm going to give it a good 10 minutes. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to start layering. I waited about five minutes. It's ready. So I'm going to just start laying these on inside there, and I cut them in all random different shapes, different sizes. I find you get a prettier look when you use the this particular cutter with the edges as opposed to the straight one. Okay, now just to prevent any holes, I'm going to pour again because you're not going to want holes. So I'm pouring at about 130 right now. I'm going to spray with alcohol. And I'm just going to keep loading them in. And pouring a layer as I go. I wanted it clear so we could see the designs on the inside. Okay, now I'm going to put some more. Already thickening up. That's okay because I'm going to have to melt some down, some more melt and pour. So I will be right back. Okay, I have my melt and pour melted, and it's about 135 degrees. So I'm going to, I sprayed real good. I'm going to continue the pour. Okay, now these are kind of going on the top, the smaller ones. I'm going to spray real good with alcohol. This will help everything adhere to one another. Add a few more. Now, typically, I don't make bars just to do this. I just kind of use leftovers. But this time I had made them because I like the colors and I wanted to see how it would look. Okay, I'm going to add more glitter. That's something you really can't have too much of. And we are going to let this set, I would say, for about maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. And then we'll be back for the unmolding and the cut. We are back. I had a little bit of the clear melt and pour left. So what I want to do, I'm going to make a couple of bar molds of the bars. I'm going to straighten that out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, just like I did with my loaf over here, I'm going to go ahead and just pour a slight layer. You just want it to touch basically the bottom. Now I'm going to have to wait a minute or two for this to harden up because I want it to get a skin. I don't want this to plop through the top of it. So this needs time to set up. I would say about 15 minutes. I'll be back. Okay, we're back. I just had to heat this up a little bit. But I started to lay the layers. Now the important thing is you don't want to have any holes. So make sure these are spread apart just a little for the soap to get in there. Okay, so I'm going to pour a little now. You can just lay them in here however you want. I'm going to cut up some of these other pieces here. And it's a good way to use up your scraps. That way you're not wasting anything. So I often enjoy doing these. soaps. And now again, you're going to want to make sure everything's sprayed with alcohol because you want this to adhere to that. You want the melt and pour that's clear to adhere to that. Oops. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's see. Let me get a spoon. I hope everybody's having a good day. We want this as clear as possible. We don't want it to be opaque. We want it to be clear. Okay, now I'm gonna, there's something in here. Or it's not mixed up good. No, it's just not mixed up good enough. Let me mix it a little bit more. Now I'm gonna start pouring. Okay, I'm going to spray, and I'm going to put some glitter on top. This is just iridescent. Make sure that it's skin safe, whatever you use. Looks like I'm going to have to cut these up. Okay, now I'm going to do the first layer. Make sure that all gets underneath. Spray out the air bubbles with rubbing alcohol. Debating whether I want to add another layer, probably not. I'll just put a few in here. I think I'm going to leave everything the way it is. Now I already put my first layer down here as well as with the alcohol. Okay, and again, I'm going to spray and give this one last stir. Alcohol. I'm going to do a little bit more of the glitter. I think I might try a different color though. I could do a little bit of silver. Just very little because you do want to see the inside. I'm going to heat this up for another, I would say 30 seconds, and I'll be right back. And we are back for our last one. that way, this way there won't be any air bubbles because I'm making sure that there's enough soap in between. Okay, we're going to let these set, and we'll be back for the unmolding. Hello, we are back. I went ahead and unmolded these and cut them. I like the way they turned out. It's like they're suspended in air. And I like the glitter too, how the glitter shows up. Side. Top. And the bottom. And I love this. This scent is beautiful. This one's real pretty. Another one. I like the colors. Here's the top. Two more pieces after this. But I do have the bars I need to unmold as well. I want to see how those turned out. And if you notice, there's no holes. And so we were able to get it, you know, all of the soap into where it had to be. Last one. All right, and let's unmold the bars. Okay, now this layer helped because it kind of encased it, so there's no holes. Hopefully you can see the little design on there. The sides. What I like about these is there's not one of them that looks alike. You know, they're all different in their own right. Now this one has the heart imprinted on here. Now here's an example, and this is an easy fix, but there's a hole there where the soap didn't get in there. So what I can do is I can melt down some melt and pour and use a pipette and just kind of fill it in. And I'll go ahead and trim this around the edges. This is a pretty one. This is the butterfly. You just push along with your fingertips, and that'll take care of it. Last one. I'm just going to run my fingers across the bar. This is the flower. Thank you so much, guys, for coming and watching this video. I appreciate that. And if you could like and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate that. And give a comment down below. Okay, I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you.